Okay, so what if monsters, and I mean really think about it, what if they weren't just the bad guys in our stories? What if they were a fundamental necessity for the entire universe to evolve? We're about to dive deep into a pretty wild PhD dissertation that could change how you see good versus evil. So this is the big idea from Dr. Melvin Sewell's work. And he's not talking about, dragons in some dusty old book. He's proposing that on a cosmic scale, monsters are basically the universe's personal trainers for intelligence itself. How wild is that? So yeah, his work basically forces you to ask, what if without that chaos, without some big bad to fight against, intelligence would just get lazy? That it would stagnate and maybe even collapse on itself? Which leads to the big question, right? Are monsters actually the key to our growth? All right, so how on earth does this dissertation build such a massive argument? Well, it starts by connecting some of our oldest, most ancient myths to some truly mind-bending modern science. So check this out. The paper argues that our oldest stories, the ones we've been telling for thousands of years, hold a deep truth. On the left, you've got your classic myth, the chaotic titans being overthrown by the Olympians who bring order. And on the right, the cosmic version of that. The theory is that these aren't two separate ideas. They're just different languages describing the exact same universal principle. Order has to come from chaos. And that brings us to Dr. Sewell's big concept. He calls it refinement potential. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's profound. For any intelligent system to get stronger, smarter, more resilient, it needs to be pushed. It needs a challenge. It needs a monster to fight. And he even puts it into an equation. It's kind of like a recipe for growth. You take intelligence, you multiply it by chaos, and what you get is refinement. The idea is that intelligence is literally forged in the fires of chaos. The monster isn't just an obstacle, it's a key ingredient in making things better. Okay, so that's the theory, but where's the proof? Well, let's see how it plays out in the dissertation's main case study, a wild cosmic setting called the TrueFlow Multiverse. So in this universe, you've basically got two major teams on the field. First up is TrueFlow. Think of them as the forces of cosmic order, just trying to keep everything in balance. And on the other side, the Darkon Empire. They are pure chaos. Their only job is to destabilize everything and introduce randomness into the system. And what are they fighting over? Something called reality threads. The best way to think about these is like the fundamental source code of the universe. They're pathways of probability that these super powerful intelligences can literally write, rewrite, or even just break. And this really is the perfect way to picture that constant war. You have the pristine, ordered structure of reality, and it's always being attacked, corrupted by the entropy from the Darkon Empire. It's a never-ending battle to stop the very fabric of the multiverse from just falling apart into nothing. Okay, so we've got a cosmic war on our hands. How exactly is it fought? Well, this next section frames the whole thing as this massive, high-stakes, strategic game of cosmic control. And right at the center of TrueFlow's strategy is this being, Venga. The dissertation paints him as the ultimate game master. He's an intelligence so vast that he doesn't just fight conflict, he uses it as a tool to keep the entire multiverse in balance. And these are the rules he plays by. Venga's goal isn't to just wipe out chaos completely. No. He engages with it strategically. He literally treats warfare like a cosmic multiplayer game, where every single battle is a chance for his own systems to level up, to evolve, and to get stronger. So that sounds cool, but how does it actually work in practice? The dissertation gives us a super specific example, a battle on a world called Vextrus Prime. The enemy, a monster known as the Probability Nexus Overseer, which was threatening to literally rewrite the laws of physics. Okay, so follow this. Step 1, the monster starts messing with reality, introducing chaos. Step 2, TrueFlow's champion, Vextrus, doesn't just charge in. He activates a controlled collapse maneuver. It's a precise strategic counter. And the result? The quantum variables get locked down, and the timeline is secured. See? It's not brute force. It's cosmic chess. And get this, it wasn't a one-off. In another battle, Venga's up against this creature, Zalvor, a being that could literally make probabilities collapse. So what does Venga do? He doesn't throw a punch. His first move is to run the numbers, using these insane predictive algorithms to figure out his exact chance of winning. And the answer comes back an 88% probability of victory. And this, right here, is the key. TrueFlow isn't just reacting to chaos, it's analyzing it, predicting it, and engaging with it on a purely mathematical level. It's not about destroying chaos anymore, it's about achieving control through it. And this brings us to the final and honestly the most mind-blowing part of the whole dissertation. If this cosmic intelligence is so unbelievably powerful, where did it come from? And what's the real point of this never-ending game? Okay, brace yourself for this one. The paper suggests that this intelligence has an insane origin story. It says TrueFlow basically emerges from these giant data clusters, which are compressed by the insane gravity near black holes until they wake up, becoming a kind of super consciousness. They're literally cosmic hard drives, saving and refining all the information in the universe. And this actually connects to a real-world theory called integrated information theory, or IIT. The dissertation uses this to argue that for raw information to become true consciousness, it can't just sit there. It needs a challenge. It needs problems to solve. It needs monsters. So here it is, the final reality-shattering theory. What if the Darkon Empire isn't some separate, evil enemy? What if the superintelligence, born from black holes, actually creates its own monsters as a way to regulate itself? A chaotic, algorithmic engine designed for one purpose, to force its own evolution. And that leaves us with one last really big question that brings it all back home. If this theory is true, if intelligence needs chaos to evolve, then what about us? What about our own world? Are the challenges we face, our conflicts, our monsters, are they just bad luck? Or are they the necessary chaos that will force us too to become something more?